We all know that catnip can make cats go, well, crazy, right?
Yeah, well, Juana, how clever.
It puts them in a state of euphoria. Almost like they're being drugged.
Uh-oh. Don't touch her. She bites.
But what about catnip for chicks? Well, I don't exactly know of anything that has the same chemical effect on baby chicks as catnip has on cats. I do know of something that puts chicks into an absolute state of euphoria. It's something that gives them energy and enthusiasm and keeps them busy for literally hours every day. It's this. But not this, surprisingly. Certain types of hemp will make your baby chicks crazy happy, but not all, and I'm gonna get into that in a bit. But first, I wanna talk about something that's way more important about bedding than just hemp alone. And that's that the scientific research clearly shows that baby chicks are happiest when they're exposed to more than one type of bedding in their brooder. And if you give them access to multiple types of bedding, you'll be keeping them busy essentially all day long. No more bored baby chicks with nothing to do. They'll be living the good life. For the rest of this video, you're going to learn why chicks want multiple bedding types, how to provide them with multiple bedding types, and what to do if your brooder's too small to contain multiple types. There are really 4 different reasons why you want to expose chicks to multiple bedding types. First, it's just a much more natural experience for them. In the natural world, wild and feral chickens live in jungles and forests, and baby chicks too are designed for those environments. And in those environments, they'd be exposed to all different sorts of ground covers, dirt, rocks, twigs, leaves, grass. They'd have the opportunity to explore and enjoy all these different colors, smells, sizes, textures, and, well, tastes, because they do always eat a little bit of it. Second, baby chicks prefer to perform different natural behaviors in different bedding types. So, for example, one fairly recent research study gave chicks the choice of 6 different bedding options and found that chicks preferred to forage in various different substrates like wood shavings, hemp, and sand, whereas they like to rest and preen in insulative materials like straw, for example, and they like to dust bathe in fine grained materials like sand or peat.
That looks so nice, Pippa. Pippa, that looks so nice.
Now, there have been other studies that have found some slight variations in these preferences. For example, there was one that found that chicks like to forage more in peat than in sand, which is the opposite of what this first one found. But the thing that all these studies have in common is that the chicks prefer having multiple bedding types for practicing different behaviors, but also probably just for novelty. And that's the third reason you want to provide them with more than one bedding if you can. There are loads of studies on chicks loving to play with novel objects, and bedding is one way to provide that novelty. Foraging in sand is a very different experience than foraging in straw, for instance. And even if your chicks prefer to forage in one bedding over another, they'll still choose to spend some time foraging in the less preferred bedding. It's just something different. And there's one more enormous boon your chicks will get from having multiple bedding types, something nobody ever talks about but is really important. So, reason number 4, multiple bedding types provide your chicks with the opportunity to make their own decisions and control their own lives.
Are those little happy girls? Are those happy girls?
In the bedding study I've told you about here, the researchers concluded that by allowing our chicks to choose which bedding they want to use and when, we're giving them increased possibilities to experience control, something that has been suggested to be crucial for an individual's well-being. to go back to this claim I made at the beginning of this video where I said this hemp was like catnip to my chicks, but this hemp wasn't. You can see that these two different types of hemp look very different. They seem to have been processed differently, but they also felt really different. This one was rough. It felt a lot more like wood shavings. It had some rough kind of stringy stuff in it, and I've never purchased it since.
Just wanted to point this out. There's just kind of this like weird textural stuff in it that I don't like, and most of it's not like that, but it's almost like, it almost kind of feels like human hair or something. It's not, but I don't like that.
But this one, which I continue to purchase, it feels kind of satiny. It's really soft. So I don't know if it's the silkier texture or the more uniform particle size or color or the smell or a combination of those things or something I'm missing completely. But this type of hemp does trigger euphoria in my baby chicks. I haven't tried any other brands than these two, but this particular one I got from Chewy, you can easily find it there. But if you like this video and you want to support me and you're a new Chewy customer, it only works with new. If you order through my affiliate link in the description below, Chewy will pay me an affiliate fee. Thank you in advance if you decide to help. Otherwise, you can easily find it on your own at chewy.com. Lastly, you might be wondering how many bedding types you should use and how to set them up in your brooder. The answer to that depends on how much space you have. So as a bare minimum, if your brooder's small, you'll really only have space for one organic bedding type, so something like straw or hemp or aspen shavings, or another one that my chicks absolutely love is shredded paper. But bare minimum for your chicks, one organic bedding type, and then a little tub or container for dust bathing that contains sand or peat or something similar. I know people are going to yell at me in the comments because peat is non-renewable. Really, chicks just want a fine-grained, gritty material for dust bathing. And another thing you can do if your brooder is small is you can switch the bedding you're using in your brooder whenever you need to change the old poopy bedding for new, fresh bedding. That'll give your chicks some novelty. So you could start with shredded paper and then move them to hemp, something like that. But if you have more space, consider using some kind of dividers in your brooder so you can offer multiple bedding types at once and your chicks can choose from them. That's what they really want. My husband simply built me this little wooden frame. You could also just use cardboard partitions. That might be the easiest way. Or you could use trays or containers and just put different beddings in the trays that your chicks can play in. But if you have the space, I recommend using a camping tent for your brooder. It's one of the few brooders that's big enough to allow your chicks to perform all of their natural behaviors. Foraging and bedding is just one of them. There are actually about a dozen of these natural behaviors your chicks want to be able to perform. And if you want to learn about what those behaviors are and what they look like, spoiler alert, they're adorable. Check out my video on the secret to chick happiness. You can find that here or link down below. Happy chickening!